All right, we're back. Josh, thanks again for taking the time to hang out with me today. All right, well, I guess subject for today. What's popping in your brain? What's in your mind right now?
That Dark Souls has become a way of describing a game. But what got me thinking about it was why it's not really a new thing. Now, and this is no offense to From Software, but it's a little bit of a new thing to modern gaming, I think. And at least when Dark Souls first came out, it was. Now there were a couple games that had permadeath in them, like XCOM. My mind goes to it. XCOM 2, or the old school XCOMs, even they, save game, you do the wrong thing, you can lose a lot of data, you can lose people pretty quick. But games that are hard have been around for a long time. I think what Dark Souls did, what Front Software did, was remind everybody that this is fun. Like, to be challenged is to have fun. Difficulty keeps getting brought up, and I think that's one of the reasons why those words Dark Souls was used to gain so much rapport with each other so fast. If you did play Dark Souls, then there's a few things I can probably make conjecture about you as a person, which is you don't give up easily. Like, that's a really big one. You're probably pretty tenacious. And it's obviously, if we can't connect on anything else, we can play Dark Souls together and we'll be friends, right? At least we've got that. Why? That goes back to Ninja Gaiden, whatever. What do you say? Ninja Gaiden or Ninja Gaiden?
Ninja Gaiden.
You say Gaiden?
Yeah.
Gaiden, potato. When those came out for the Xbox, that was kind of like a slap in the face. Like, okay, this is hard. Like, these guys hit you, it takes off. Like your health bar could be like that, and then you got swack, and you're like, wait, what? I can only get hit like twice, but the health bar is like this. Ah. And I have to mediate stamina and all this other stuff. It was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. Any of those games where you were punished for rushing and you were rewarded for exploration. But I've never really had as much of an emotional payoff as I have playing Dark Souls. Like, when you finally beat that boss all by yourself, it's just like, yeah. Oh, did anybody see that? Going through a very vague and kind of your own interpretation of what the storyline is. They don't really lay it out for you. There's no hand holding at all. Like, you kind of got to try something and then it poisons you and kills you, and that's it. Or you accidentally use a certain item and it makes the game like 70% more difficult and you don't even know that. SoulsBorne games are specifically difficult. They're not, it takes a lot of hand-eye coordination, a lot of attention to detail in some cases. There are people that can smurf the crap out of stuff. Like, you can, and that's part of the game in some cases, is to like kite creatures or kite bosses, or even in some cases, like, there's very few ways other than like the cheap, super repetitious way of beating a creature. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Dark Souls punishes you utterly the second you start rushing. Like, the AI in that game is ding-dong ridiculous. In Dark Souls, if you die, you get one chance to get all your stuff back, and if you don't get it back that second time, you die before you can get your stuff back. That's it. You lose the equivalency of currency in the game, or experience for like leveling up, which, when you put a whole bunch of effort, again, into the character and you're being super careful and you've got all this stuff in your pocket that you can lose, it puts skin in the game. There's even a part of, I'm trying to remember, I think it was in the beginning of the strategy guide, like when I first read the strategy guide, was you will lose your souls over and over and over and over again. You will die so many times. This is like a Don't Die More book. Or something to that effect. But I mean, if you think about playing Super Mario Brothers, the original one for the NES, how many times did you die? Countless. It's kind of fun being old and looking back and going like, I remember when you only got 3 lives or maybe only got 1 to beat the whole thing, and you had to beat it twice to get the best ending in one sitting. When Dark Souls came along, it was like the RPG that I've been waiting for. It was a super role-playing game, but I'd already played it before because I played like, Ultima or Legend of Zelda and all of its incarnations, and I started noticing that, it's kill a bunch of this, go here, find this thing that gives you this ability that unlocks this door, and then fight this dude. And the fight's a whole lot easier if you have this first Mega Man, And I started noticing all of these consistencies, and why I like the game so much is because you get cold clock coming around a corner if you forgot that skeleton was there. And it was so angering, and just usually just a short animation between you and like maybe 3 hours worth of work. And you died comes up on the screen, and there's that little 0 in the lower left-hand corner, and you're just like, I didn't get my souls. Or I didn't rest at that bonfire. I am all the way on the other side of the undead berg. And I just lost like $100,000. It can be heartbreaking, but it's if you open yourself to it, because in some cases those bosses, you fight them. The orphan fight in Bloodborne, And since Dark Souls came out, there's now a couple of new kids on the block, at least, that are making games of the SoulsBorne like style. Neo, which is a really badass freaking Dark Souls Samurai Ronin Ninja simulator, which is just brutal. But Dark Souls all of a sudden started becoming it became my favorite game. The second one, and then the third, and then Bloodborne, and now and its predecessors too. I had played Demon's Souls, but I remember returning it the first time. Like, it was just like, what is this? Like, this is excruciating. So it wasn't until I beat Dark Souls that I had to go back and play Demon's Souls. No, I like it because if you're going to play a video game, why not play something that really emotionally rewards you? Don't play it for storyline, because unless you really, really like super vague, like barely give you anything, like, they give you pretty much the only way you can tell what's going on in the game is by the sheer dialogue between the characters that you meet, which are few and far between, and the descriptions of items. They'll give all this history as to where this item came from and who used to own it, and you really kind of they hand you a really big puzzle box and kind of say, make your own adventure. Like, this is what it kind of looks like, but you're gonna have to piece all this together. So it's very convoluted. But the biggest thing is you die and you drop all your stuff, and if you get one chance to get it back, and if you don't get back to that point and get your stuff back, you lose it permanently. So it puts you into a mindset of constantly preventing loss and really keeps your guard up. And also, this boss that's killed you 10, 15, 20 times, when you finally smoke them, it feels good. I guess it would be no different than, shooting your first 3-pointer, or, pulling something off on a skateboard that you've never done before. So is Dark Souls a good game? Absolutely. It's one of the best games ever made, but is it for everybody? No, not so much. There's people out there that, Luigi's Mansion, a freaking great game, but that's where the buck stops for some people. Like, you get into Dark Souls, you're going to fight some creatures that are sheer nightmare fuel, for one. Like, the art design of that game is insanely out there. Bloodborne specifically really frames itself in the Lovecraft universe. But you want to talk about A for atmosphere. Holy crap, those games. They'll create this crazy world, leave a bunch of really, really vague clues, and then you just kind of have to invent, what the hell just happened. The world's broke, everybody's undead, everything's immortal, you die, you don't, you keep coming back day after day after day. humanity has long since ceased to exist. The only thing left are like these eternal beings. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, definitely try it out. I love it. I think it's a lot of fun. It's hard as beans, but anything worth doing is worth working for, I suppose. Or, what is it? Anything worth doing is worth dying for. That's the Warhammer 40K, but anything worth having is worth working for. So you get a good Vic in Dark Souls, you sure feel like you've earned it. But I think that's it. You want to try it out?